Alright, welcome back everybody. We are picking up our World Tour flight back in, now that we're in Australia. Picking up from Australia, mate. Crikey. Yeah, right. I mentioned in the comments in the last video that we might do the flight in the Honda Jet. I did some fiddling around with it earlier, and as much as I want to, there are a few issues with it in the 2020 version working on 2024 and Sim Update 4. Unfortunately, it is not working correctly. Fuel consumption is about 4 times higher than it's supposed to be. So, I'm going to do the next flight here, I think, in the Vision Jet. I was in the Asobo version just a little while ago, showing my son how the cap system works in it and how the autoland works. Although I couldn't get the autoland to work because I spawned it into a place where there was no, I think it said no suitable airports in that area. So, yeah, we'll have to mess about with that a bit later. I know that they are currently working on a 2024 release of the Honda Jet, or they're going to be releasing an updated version for 2024. So you're going to have, you know, your tablet, EFB checklists, removable engine covers, chocks, things like that. And apparently they're updating a bunch of the avionics because that's actually one of the major changes. Was that 2020's G3000 versus 2024's G3000 is a 2024's version so much better. And that's what actually makes the Vision Jet in 2024 have the better avionics suite is the native G3000. Let's see how we're gonna do this exactly. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the flight plan in from SimBrief, but we can quickly punch in our departure airport, which is Yankee Bravo Tango Lima. Townsville International. And what we'll do, we'll just get right down in here. Set as departure. As much as I love this gray and blue paintwork, it's kind of boring. I don't know. Is it? What the hell? Well, we're gonna run it anyway. Okay. So we are simply just going to load in here. And then we're going to pull our flight plan in from SimBrief. And just like the last flight, I will include the SimBrief flight plan in the video notes in case anybody wants to replicate this flight. Look at that. We're already in there. Let's hop on in. You can see the co-pilot from the exterior, but not the interior. That's always fun. We're going to have a look at our stacks here. Chocks, covers, luggage. Get our headphones on so they're off the dash. that'll do for that for right now. Making sure my so I'm going to run through all my controls, making sure they're all free and correct. All looking good and happy. Okay. So let's get some power on here. And actually, I believe, let's see if this works. Statics, external power. Yep, nice. Okay, cool. We can have external power connected, and that way we don't drain the batteries while we run through our SimBrief. All right. So it looks like filed for 10, but we may go lower. All good. And then what I'll do is I want to this one here, request from avionics. It's going to load. Well, we can do our route string, which, I mean, that's easy enough. So what do we got here? I'm going to take a Bravo Lima. WALTA 2. WALTA. For the most part, that's about what we're doing. Okay, cool. All right, now VNav enabled. Okay. One. And I like to have my fuel. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't want to work. $149 gallons on that side. There we go. And 149 on this side as well. We're just going to do a flight with full fuel. Cargo. Sure, why not? Seats. 0. There we go. All right. Aircraft is loaded. We've got our fuel on board. Let's go to the home screen here. We're going to pull up the aircraft systems, I believe. System tests. We're going to do a pre-flight test.
Stall. Stall. Stall.
All right. Those are done. I'm going to go into utilities. Waiting fuel page. For whatever I can figure out. It does not want to work, which is unfortunate. Because I can do fuel on board sync. Weight and balance. Just will not allow me to. Speed bugs. We're going to turn them all on here. Okay. Charts. Oh, which was the 1, 2. All right. So let's get our altitude set for 10,000 feet. It's our file altitude here. There's 10. Let's set our minimums. 300. Radar altimeter. There we go. Speed bugs are set. FMS is the nav source. Perfect. This will be a departure. Okay. Now, let's bring up our checklist. Pre-flight is complete. Door is closed and latched. Parking brake is set. Battery 1 and 2 is on. Gen 1 and 2 also on. External BARIA as needed. Set. 28 volts DC. 800 amp minimum. 1000 amp maximum. Right now we've got 27.5. That's our emergency batteries. Okay. There's our electrical. Okay. Verify active FADEC. FADEC channel A. Next, engine start. We're going to strobes on. Cast message check. Thrust lever is set to idle. Brakes are being held. Engine knob. Go to run. Fuel pump. Can audibly hear it. And we can also see it. It is on. And engine starts. And one coming up. Temps and pressures are coming up. Alright, and that's a good start. Ground power is off. Alright. All normal. Ice protection's fine. Is this control panel set? Currently disabled. Lock should master verify on. Cast pin removes on its own. Passengers, we don't have any. Seatbelts are secured. Bleed switch to bleed. Next, before taxi, comms set. What do we got here? Let's get our ATIS.
Townsville Airport
There we
information,
go.
Quebec, 0600 Zulu. Wind 12 tree at 1 tree. Visibility, 6. Sky condition, few clouds at 1600, ceiling 4800 broken. Temperature, tree 1. Dew point, 25. QNH 1007. ILS X-ray runway 01 in use. Landing and departing runway 19er. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Quebec.
Alright, 1007. It's nice and warm. We're going
0600 Zulu.
from
Wind 12 tree at
19.
1 tree. Visibility, 6.
Sounds good. 007 is set. It's obtained. Clearance. Or not. Taxi, and we're going to depart to the north.
Ground, Vision Jet Charlie Foxtrot, Tango Mike Oscar. Ready to taxi. North departure with Romeo.
Vision Jet Charlie Foxtrot Tango Mike Oscar. Taxi to and hold short of runway. 19er via taxiway Alpha 2 Alpha 3 Alpha 4 Alpha 5 Alpha 6 Alpha 7. Contact tower on 118 decimal tree. When ready.
Taxi hold short 19 via A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7. Contact tower on 1183 when ready. Trim. $6. Flaps 50. Roll trim is set. Toggle button.
Vision Jet Tango Mike Oscar. Acknowledge last transmission.
Sorry, Mom.
Taxiing. Hold short runway 19er using taxiway Alpha 2, Alpha Tree Alpha, 4 Alpha 5 Alpha, 6 Alpha 7. Vision Jet Tango Mike Oscar.
Okay. Park brake is removed. Right. Nice part about charts. There we go. Okay. Gotta love that immersion.
Vision Jet Tango Mike Oscar. Hold position.
Nice.
Vision Jet Tango Mike Oscar. Continue taxi.
Thanks, Mom. All right.
Vision Jet Tango Mike Oscar. Did you copy?
Roger. Vision Jet Tango Mike Oscar.
A little fast on that taxi. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna hop in here real quick. Hmm. I thought I'd set one up from the Vision Jet. Kind of want to change one of the views here. Camera. Cockpit camera. Delete that. Delete that. Oops. Not quite. Oh, and let's rename this one too. Okay. So now should only have the 45s. That's better. Stay on that center line, huh? There we go. That's some interesting rocks over there. Departure briefing. Ship towel. Line says cryopropede is on and engine protection not needed. Wingtip ice protection not needed. Gas messages we're good. Trim is currently set to 6 degrees. Flaps are 50. Verify takeoff emergency gas messages not displayed. We'll take off. Brakes hold. Thrust to take off. Engine instruments. Everything is in green. Brakes released. Rotate speed is going to be between 80 and 90. A little bit of back pressure on the yoke. Ooh, there's that cross one. And we're up. Gears up.
Vision Jet Tango Mike Oscar, you were not cleared to take off.
Flaps up,
Tango
115.
Mike Oscar. ATC services terminated. Good day.
So I have our charts. Departure. Oh, I kind of think I want to see. Can I get it? Oh, nope. So there's 5,000 feet here. So I want to see what's going on. Let's get that back there. There we go. Get the headset on. All right. Let's roll over and get full screen over here. And I want the full screen over here. What's going on up here? There we go. Okay. We go and hop on out of our charts view. There we go. There we go. Throttling back a little. Kind of thinking this altitude will be good for being able to see what's going on the ground. So we're actually gonna fly down the coast and then back up it. So we're just going off of, this is Cleveland Bay. Then open up to the eaves. Almost immediately after departure, you can see the landscape's going to go from like an urban grid to like dry Queensland bush, like bush country. First, we're headed down the coast. So, Magnetic Island. Right out there on the left. Let's zoom back in a little. So we just kind of passed it. Magnetic Island. Right there. We're going to be passing over top of a coral sea. It's a little windy. Yeah, 29 knot headwind. That'll make it good for when we turn around, though. But yeah, this is a coral sea below us. I was kind of hoping that the water would be a little more clear, given where we're at, but that's all right. Actually, let's hop in our flight plan and make a couple of quick adjustments here. Okay. All right. So just set our VNAV and everything up for what we want it to do. Procedures. Hang on, we're landing on 1.5. There we go. All right. So got 30 knot headwind. That's a lot of wind right up here. I feel like I've done some Cessna flying in 30 knot headwinds and Felt like you almost stood still. Not all that impressive speed-wise currently, with only 275 knot true airspeed. That's not bad, obviously, especially with a 30 knot headwind, but never been to Australia. It's always one of those places I've wanted to go. Now this is a little too bad to see that this is in op, especially with the in-game model having it functional. But apparently they cannot update the FlightFX Vision Jet because of the contract with Asobo and Microsoft. Which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. I like this one just because we've got, you know, SimBrief and Navigraph in there. I can look and see externally what my plane is doing here. So it's actually a pretty short flight compared to the last one, with only 180-ish nautical miles to go. And that's when you consider that we're going away from and then back towards. It's kind of a weird one. All these cool little snaky rivers. And that's no little river though. But actually, since we've gone full fuel, Why don't we see how much speed we can get out of this thing? It's funny watching the information on Navigraphs, the telemetry they give you, because as I'm flying right now, I'm actually getting further away from my destination. So my destination distance is increasing um, rather than decreasing. But I kind of wanted to fly down the coast here to see what it all looked like. I was hoping that might have a bit clearer waters. As there's, I'm told, considerable coral reefs here. But I am not currently seeing any coral reefs down here. Some nice looking beaches. And it seems to go from like almost coastline right into the bush country over that direction. Switch to the deafening view. There we go. Well, that looks like some nice looking beaches over there. So I don't know if any of you guys keep up on aviation news, but apparently a Air India flight local to me at Vancouver International. The pilot was caught by duty-free staff. Apparently, I guess, went in and purchased alcohol, and either at the time they were purchasing the alcohol, there was a noticeable odor of alcoholic beverage on the captain, or they saw them purchase the alcohol and then consume some of it, which, if you either if you're in aviation or you kind of followed along, you probably know that there is zero alcohol allowed for anybody flying. I think they say, what is it, 8 hours bottle to throttle is the minimum amount of time between the last drink you had and being able to operate an aircraft. So this guy got busted and failed, I believe it was 3 breathalyzer tests. And I guess Air India brought in a replacement pilot and completed the flight. But it's kind of concerning. How many pilots out there have gotten away with something like that? How many times has this pilot gotten away with, drinking and operating an aircraft? And the reality is, a lot of these, very modern airliners, they're all crewed by 2 people. And there's a very high level of automation. So you can almost kind of get away with not having to be there 100%. Now, it's not an excuse for this guy. You shouldn't be drinking regardless of how much a plane is automated or not automated. But, that's really kind of messed up. And then I saw, what is that? Some sort of refinery or something. Huh. Interesting. When I heard the story, and I went and kind of did some Googling, because I'm someone who questions a lot of what I hear in media and news, and as I strongly encourage other people to kind of question things they see and hear. To find out that, I guess it was a month or 2 prior to this, there was another Air India pilot who was caught in India, either showing up intoxicated or alcohol was involved in some aspect, and they were relieved of service. Now, I don't know what that means exactly. So you can be relieved and still be working. Oh, this must be some sort of mine. These look like rotary buckets or rotary diggers of some kind. Okay, so this is some sort of port. All right. I wonder what they ship. See, now I'm curious. So I believe what we're passed over Whitehaven Beach, I do believe. Whitsunday Island. I think that's where we just passed. Whitsunday Island. Saying the water becomes crystal clear. You can see the coral bommys, reef patches, and streaks of white sand below the surface. The islands are densely forested with sheer cliffs dropping straight into the ocean. So that'll be coming up here. That'll be all this area over here. This is the harbor. So I guess we should see some pretty pretty straight drop off cliffs over this direction. So as we come up to Hamilton Island, which is roughly, what do we got here? About 40 miles ahead of us here. We've got Hamilton Island, which has got the Whitehaven Beach, pure white silica sand curving along the shoreline, almost glowing against the surrounding aqua water. And apparently the Yankee Bravo Hotel, why could I never remember M? I never remember M. Movember. Apparently it's kind of chiseled into the hillside. Steep terrain on both ends. Kind of sounds like it'd be fun to land at. Hey, now that's some nicer looking water down there. Looks quite the aqua. That's looking pretty down there. Little coastal. It's a nice little cute little island there. I guess it'd be a really cool place to go explore. So we just got a new puppy, or a rescue, but he's going to be 5 months old in a couple days. I'm looking forward to doing kind of the hiking and exploring. I definitely prefer walking or hiking to any other cardio type exercise. Well, some weather there. see if we can't, map settings. Okay, nothing to worry about. We're actually going to be kind of flying right around these wonderful clouds right up here. Well, it looks pretty ominous, but just like in Flight Sim, you punch your way through the clouds. Weather radar is not indicating anything of concern. This is still, we're going with still with the 31 knot headwind. What turbulence through there? Nothing horrific. Now that is not looking inviting. Well, that's all right. We can, we don't really have to worry about that one. So we're turning around. Where would it be cool to have an island, get your own little airport on there, and I mean, you just need to be filthy, filthy rich, and then you can do it. Hey, Oro, how you doing? It is the Vision Jet. It's the FlightFX Vision Jet, so not your standard FS 2024 Vision Jet. This would be the one that you'd fly if you had FS 2020. But you can fly it in 2024, as you can see right now. Yeah, there is a bit of a difference. The FS 2024 one has a better G3000 system in it. The G3000 implementation in 2020 was a bit more rudimentary. It works great, but there was a lot of unique coding that they had to do to make it all work right. The flight model's a little different between the two. And the biggest difference for me, because I'm flying on a console, Xbox Series X, and we don't have things like SimLink, I think it's called, where you can actually have like Navigraph on a tablet outside the sim. So this plane allows you to kind of do that. So I've got my Navigraph open on actually on my laptop right here next to me. Yeah, the FSR, the 500. Yeah, I have that one too. You could do the ground service where people drive up in their cars and stuff. That was kind of fun too. I haven't flown that since 2020. I should work that one into the mix. That was actually a lot of fun to fly that one. Went from a 30 knot headwind to a 28 knot tailwind. That's 17 knot cross. It's not ideal, but definitely pick up some speed, that's for sure. 312 knots. So it's saying time to destination 47 minutes. $245 nautical miles. Oh, and the other difference, the FS 2024 version has a, you can't see me, but I'm doing air quotes right now, a functional CAPS parachute system, as well as a functional auto land system. I actually tried to show my son earlier how the CAPS system works. It's, well, I mean, I suppose it would save you. It would be a hell of a landing if it's modeled correctly in the sim here, but pulled the handle and saw what it did, and the plane kind of did some backflips, and then impacted the ground so hard that it reset the sim to, I guess, being back in the air. So that was that was interesting. The Autoland I didn't actually get to work. Apparently there was no suitable airports where I had loaded in to show my son this. So yeah, I'll have to give them another try. But my main reason for using the 2024 version is the SimBrief and Navigraph integration. Just being able to pull up charts right on the screen here is kind of cool. Like being able to do that in sim. It's kind of nice. The 2024 version you cannot do. So we just banged around Hamilton Island. Clearly wasn't modeled that great because the crazy pure white silica sand didn't seem to be there. Or the aqua water. Wish that was modeled a little better. But I guess most people tend to fly this kind of in airliner stuff. Yeah, there was the King Air. That was actually the first real world usage of a Garmin Autoland system anywhere. Apparently the pilot suffered some sort of issue. He wasn't unable to fly, but they activated the Autoland out of an abundance of caution, which I guess is a good plan. And it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It came, landed, transmitted the emergency on the radio, displayed everything on the displays for the people in the plane to know what's going on, made the radio calls, landed, stopped the engines, stopped on the runway. Obviously doesn't taxi off, but yeah, it was pretty cool. It did in fact work. And yeah, it was the first actual usage of that in an emergency situation. I know Garmin has tested it. All the planes equipped with auto land actually have to go through an inspection. I'm not sure. I think how periodic it is. I don't know if it's done during your annual, um, or if it's something that they have to test on a certain frequency. But yeah, it does work. I know a couple VisionJet pilots that have had to or had the experience on some test flights to do auto lands in it. It's kind of cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is kind of creepy, um, and it's kind of, I guess, a precursor to what the aviation world is already trying to do, talking about having automation kind of kind of taking over things. They've had flights that are 100% unmanned, and apparently it works. But I don't know. I like flying, so I'd rather have a pilot up there. I'd rather be that pilot up there. But this kind of flying's where it's at for me. Airliners are a little lackluster. I'd have to be another, 30,000 feet above here. So you need more of this blue aqua water over here. Wish it was more clear. You could see reefs and stuff. And you gotta love these blocks of water. Yeah, man, they definitely ruin the any kind of immersion that you might have. From the outside looking in, I mean, you'd think it would be easy enough to fix the rendering. Like right here, everything looks good, and then you just right out here, then suddenly there's a line through everything. It's like once you find one, you find 100 of them. But I don't know if this is just a console issue or what. So I see a lot of other content creators that are out there flying, and I don't really ever see those issues. Oh, dude, VR. I'd love to do that. So it's still the same way on PC. Dude, that sucks. I mean, it's obviously it's big nitpicky. I mean, this simulator's pretty amazing for what it is. Especially the fact I can run it on an Xbox. But yeah, I mean, it just it ruins it when you're down low. Especially when you start trying to look at stuff. Like all that blue water down there. Yeah, pretty much, right? Well, like this is really immersion breaking right in here. You've got this, which is supposed to be, coral reef, and there's a cut right through it. That that is a great analogy for it, for sure. Oh no. Looks like an Alaska Airlines captain is filing civil lawsuit in Oregon against the Boeing Company and Spirit Aerosystems. Apparently, Captain Brandon Fisher alleges the Boeing attempted to shift blame towards the flight crew following the January 5th, 2024 in-flight blowout of a cabin panel that created an in-flight emergency. Huh. So Boeing tried to blame the crew for the cabin of the aircraft blowing out, and now they're being sued for 10 million. Okay. Oopsie doopsie. Oh, look at that. Cirrus announces 2026 SR Series G7 Plus updates. And didn't they just make it a G7 Plus? What more updates could they have? The manufacturer said all 2026 SR Series aircraft will include G7 Plus generalization updates such as safe return emergency autoland, automatic database updates powered by Cirrus IQ Pro Advanced, runway occupancy awareness, and smart pitot heat. According to Cirrus, the updates are intended to build an existing safety and situational awareness system across the product line. Okay. So they're going to go up by 150, $200,000 is what that means, I guess. It's going to be an expensive GA plane, that's for sure. I mean, it is super cool to see that the Autoland feature has been integrated into a plane that does not have a FADEC controlled throttle or flight controls for that matter. But apparently the system can take over in an absolute emergency, which means I guess they can make the, if they wanted to, I suppose they could make the SR series aircraft all have auto throttle. Auto throttle, auto land, tells you when stuff's on the runway, turns on the pitot heat, and you're not going to have to even fly it anymore at this rate. There we go. 31 minutes. So we arrive at destination. 162 nautical miles. Vietnam. That's a place I definitely need to go and fly. On my world tour, I'm sure I'll hit it. This is going to take me quite a long time because well, this flight I doubled back just because I could, I guess. Of these 162, the vast majority of them were going off the coast here. We just kind of followed back the coastline. A little bit lacking for for appeal. The coastline's right over here. So it's a bit of a lacking one. Unfortunately, the scenery does not really match my expectations of what it should have been. So right now, this should be a lot of really cool reef to look at, and they kind of show it with this aqua watering effects, but I mean, you see no detail, just a slight change in what almost looks like oil slicks on top of the water. But yeah, aviation is it's going in an interesting direction. Everything's getting ridiculously expensive. If you're a GA pilot, it's even just a 172 that when I started flying you could buy one for 20 to 30,000 now are 100 and up for 50, 60-year-old planes, and fuel is insanely expensive, and a lot of airports are pushing to get rid of 100 low lead, so you have to use MoGas or non-leaded aviation fuels. I think what I'm going to do here, because the scenery kind of sucks, head back towards the coast. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Europe would be just that much less enjoyable. But I mean, I'm in Canada, so it's starting to get there. In all honesty, our government's kind of following suit with a lot of what Europe is doing, and it's costing us a lot of money, a lot of problems. But I hate politics. Politics sucks. In Canada, the only places you might find with lax regulations and little oversight would be indigenous land. Um, there are some places in Ontario. I know some reserves out there, actually reserve with its own airport on it. Um, it was apparently a World War II training facility, and now it's all indigenous land. So those places do exist in Canada, but few and far between. And unless you're indigenous, it's kind of you're you're kind of out of luck. Unless, of course, you move into the middle of nowhere, which you can do in Canada, and just kind of disappear. And the real weird part about Canada is we're an absolutely enormous landmass, but if you look at where all the people live, they barely use up any of the land that is up here. Mostly because the weather conditions and um, terrain and everything are not ideal. They're not ideal at all. Hell, Ontario in a winter just going along the Great Lakes is pretty treacherous. I've had to do that drive many times. Yep, yep, just like Australia. Yeah, the world's a strange place right now. Seems like I talk to a lot of people that have uh, very similar views and opinions about it, which is strange because it seems like everything I hear is the opposite of kind of what I think. But I try not to dwell on it too much. Having kids and everything, it gets depressing to think the world that they're gonna go into. You just try to do the best you can and hope that it does good for them. But at this rate, it seems like there's just wars popping off left, right, and center. Yeah, well, just the beginning of this flight, the 99% of people you see right along the coast and flying above them, to the left you've got the coastline and you can see the cities, and then you look to the right and it's just bushland. I actually was reading a book, still am. I need to finish it, but it's I think it's called Diaries of a Starship. It's about a guy who took a Beechcraft Starship in the early 2000s and flew it around the world. Took 2 years to do it, but he flew it around the world. And I just read through a bunch of the stuff where he was in Australia and flying through the outback, and you just see yellow, red sands everywhere and one single road, and you're flying for hours and hours and hours. That was actually kind of what got me started doing the world tour sort of thing, was the flying in the Starship, which I think I'll have to pick up again. I love flying that thing. I find it difficult to land though. The really long gear legs make it feel like you're landing. You shouldn't be landing yet, but suddenly you're touched down. So I guess if you're configured right and everything, it's all fine. But it also seems like most people don't have all that much interest. You either love the Starship or you hate it. It seems. To get a little closer to the coastline here. Yeah, man, Black Square stuff is awesome. Um, I've got the Dukes. Got all the Dukes. Love the Turbine Duke. It's modeled really well. The engines and everything. How you can damage them if you use them incorrectly. It's really cool. Starship it's super unique. It has a lot of really unique systems in it that if you spend the time to learn how to use them, is really kind of cool. I definitely enjoy flying it, messing about with it. They don't work with your yoke. Why doesn't it work with your yoke? I mean, me being on console, I mean, I'm pretty limited on what I can fly with them. I've got a Turtle Beach Velocity 1 yoke and throttle quadrant. Should have waited and got the Bravo and Alpha quadrant, or the yoke and quadrant. Okay. Yeah, force feedback yoke. Those things are awesome. I've been looking. I know Moza's got one, but it's not Xbox compatible. I mean, there's so many reasons why I just really need to switch to being on a PC. Yeah, and I'm sure it wasn't a cheap piece of hardware either. I guess there's no one that can sort out some software for you. What a pain in the ass that must be. I think one of the reasons why I haven't switched to PC is because I'm not hugely tech savvy on a computer. I mean, I've always had one, but I've never been really heavy into it. I've always been a car guy myself. And then aviation. That's one of the reasons why I haven't bothered to buy a PC, is because the cost to actually fly in real life is so bloody high. Every time I think, oh, I've got enough, I've saved up some money here, I can do something with it, and then I go and fly a plane, and then all my money's gone. Yeah, see, I mean, if you got the know-how to make that work, that would be awesome. For me, not a clue. I don't know how any of that stuff works. Suppose like anything else, spend some time and kind of figure it out. But that's my problem as I get older. I seem to have less and less time to spend doing anything I like. Like right now, works out great for the current area I'm in for my world tour, but it's 20 after 12. I'm sure my wife's already gone to bed. And yeah, this is the time that I have for me. Hey, some land again. And A2A does the Aerostar and the Comanche, right? Neither of which I've got yet. I kind of really enjoy the mix of modern and old school tech, like the Citation 10. I really like the Citation 10, with kind of the modern Honeywell avionics with the old school mixed in. Oh, my puppy came to say hello. My puppy came to say hello. There you go, boy. There you go, boy. Took a slight detour here. Got me a little closer to the coastline rather than just sticking out in the water, because unfortunately it wasn't showing much of anything. Yeah, I mean, when you've got a good developer that makes aircraft that are with systems depth, and it's kind of enjoyable learning how it all works. Then you can just, go grab a Cirrus Vision Jet, and if you can play Mario Kart, you can pretty much fly this thing. Yeah, I've never flown any of their products, unfortunately. But you're kind of making me want to go pick something up. I know what do they offer for that is on the Xbox? Yeah, so the Aerostar, the Comanche 250. I think those are the only two that, yeah, those are the only two on FS 2024, I think. Yep. Yeah, I've been kind of holding off. I see it all the time. I have it on my wish list, but I've never got it. So I've been holding off, hoping the Black Square Baron and Bonanza, the professional Baron and Bonanza, will release. Because I've had nothing but success with flying everything Black Square, so I kind of want to stick with them just because I know what to expect. That's going to be bumpy right there. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have a problem with them taking the time, um, especially if they release a polished product. I I really dislike the developers that release a product that doesn't work. I I also do a bunch of sim racing, um, and I recently picked up Project Motor Cars, which was supposed to be the next latest, greatest, better than everybody else thing out there. And day one, the cars were, and no exaggeration, they were undrivable. And that was a whole game. And then I think within a week, a bunch of the dev team got let go. Um, it was just nonsense, and I paid like $180 for that game, only to have none of it work originally. I haven't had that a poor experience like that with Flight Sim, but um, yeah, yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But it's more so I guess the feel. I don't really care for the Baron. Um, I don't think I'd get the Baron. I'd probably just grab the Bonanza, because I actually done a lot of flying in a turbo normalized Bonanza. So it's a plane I have a lot of fond memories of. Um, so that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to pick it up. Oh, I saw some lightning. Sounds like I'm just going to have to get both. I also followed a bunch of guys when I was flying the Bonanza that have done round the world trips. I think one guy was, at the time, he was the youngest pilot to circumnavigate the globe in a Bonanza. And I think he lives somewhere in like Montana now, in some crazy air park. Guth Miller, I think was his last name. Anyway, he was a lot of fun to watch. The Bonanza's one of those planes that, I don't know. It's pretty iconic. I love the VTOL. A V35B with a turbo normalized IO 5, was it 520? That would be a cool plane to have. And where I live in Canada here, with so many mountains everywhere, turbo normalizing or turbocharging is almost a must, or a turboprop. Jets would be cool. I mean, VisionJet would be a cool plane to have too, but I don't have 6 million laying around. Nice. Yeah, the VTOL's a cool plane. I mean, they have the Microsoft one, which was, or I guess it's Cairns. I think it's a Cairns V35B, which is cool. I wish you could hot swap the GTN 530 for a 750, but I don't think you can do that in the Cairns version. Yeah. Yeah, they're I know what you mean. Yeah. It's a very unique system. And I think, I mean, it's actually one of the reasons why I love the Vision Jet, because that VTOL just looks badass. That is one of the things that always attracts me to the Vision Jet. I find every time there's a VTOL on anything, it looks cooler. F-117. It's I can't remember what it was, but some sort of like jet trainer that they had. It also had a VTOL in it. The Honda Jet's dope. Actually, the plan for this flight, I was wanting to do the flight in the Honda Jet, but on 2024, it's got some funky fuel issues. The fuel flow is all incorrect. So I mean, full tanks, I don't even think I'd be able to make this flight and with full tanks. The Vision Jet is super slow for a jet, but it's just that's just a jet version of a SR20 or SR22 turbo. I did not. What was he saying about it? I mean, if you get up into flight levels, you can see, 340 knots ground speed, 360 true. But you got to be right up there, like 28,000 the 31. Can I find it on YouTube? I should I should check it out then. That's awesome. I will definitely check it out.
How long it takes a beginner like my dad.
It is a very obscure aircraft.
Vertical track.
Yeah, I think I've watched a few of his videos before. I'll definitely give that one a watch. See if I can't squeeze it in here before the dog tells me it's time to go to bed. Actually, I think he's already doing that. He's decided to sleep on the floor here. I guess I'll just have to brush my teeth extra good. My wife will wonder what the hell I'm doing taking so long. But I still think if I had the money to spend, I don't know, it would be a toss up. I think the Vision Jet is great for what it is. The type of flying I do, um, it's got the ability to go in and out of the places that I go to. It can still do hard packed grass, gravel type stuff. Nothing crazy. It has to be hard packed, but um, getting over to Palm Springs from where I'm at, my mother-in-law's got a place up there, so we frequent Palm Springs. The Vision Jet is decent. The Honda Jet is, especially the Elite 2 with you know, the slightly improved FADEC information. You got ground spoilers. You got auto throttle. The bathroom, that is, I don't know, for some reason that makes it like a game changer for me. It's another reason why I love the Starship. You actually have a bathroom, a usable bathroom. Woohoo. It's like an Imagine Dragons song up in here. Oh, we have Cirrus pilot. That lightning, you would already had it pulled. Raindrop pull caps. Well, it's another selling feature, though, for the aircraft. The caps and the auto land. That's something I can tell you. My wife likes that idea. The auto land in the Honda Jet, the Elite 2 anyway, is cool, but obviously it's too big to have a parachute system on it, or a ballistic parachute system, or it'd have to have like 2 or something. But it has 2 engines, so that's the likelihood of that all failing is low-ish. Hey, look. There's houses down there. There's like people live there. There's like these green things over here. We can look at the Hobbs meter. Hobbs meters are fun to watch. 2.2. This gets exciting. Here comes my favorite part. The white one turns into a 3. We can watch circuit breakers too. Those are fun. Trees. Shit. I haven't flown it hardly at all. Obviously, 2.2 hours. And FS 2024. In 2020, I flew it a whole ton. Because I think I picked it up before I picked up the Honda Jet. And then I pretty much lived in the Honda Jet on 2020 until 2024 came out. And then life got really busy and I had a bunch more flight training to do, so it sat there collecting dust. And then my wife bought me a SimBreig for my birthday. and then I set up all my my flight sim stuff on it as well as my sim racing stuff. So now I actually kind of do a little bit more here and there. The weather was supposed to be nice for this flight. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. She actually sent me down here to do a flight tonight. She said, "You should do a flight." Oh yeah, okay, sure. Every time I gotta wonder though, did she like crash the car or something? And this is her way of getting out of it. Here, we'll get closer to the ground, then you'll have more to look at. Oh yeah, should probably we'll let the auto throttle manage that. Yeah, my Turtle Beach yoke has been given some weird I don't know how to describe it.
Vertical track.
It has not been working correctly. It will randomly bank very hard to the left, or roll very hard to the left. I'm pretty sure this current flight pan is all kinds of fucked up. Yeehaw. Legal? No, definitely is not legal. Yeah, pretty much. I flew direct to a fix in the actual approach. An attempt at time saving. A very poor attempt at time saving. And now trying to deal with a 29 knot headwind, 30 knot. but it's okay. We'll still probably maybe kind of sort of make it. I promise nothing. From 30 knots to 13. That's interesting.
Traffic, 12 o'clock. Low, 1 mile.
Yeah, keep them on the taxiway then. I don't need ATC. ATC on the console sucks.
Minimums.
Well, this is going to be like one of those ATC videos. We'll just clip his tail a little. Oh, look at that. He threw it in reverse. Womp womp. We can land long. We're going to float. Oh, Jesus. I got 8,000 feet. I only need 2,000 of it. Oh, at least on PC you can do live ATC and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's definitely geared more towards your commercial flyers. Not a lot of GA stuff. Yeah, VATSIM too, yeah. And all the different kind of career type add-on stuff is really cool too. If you're into it. Hey, we made it. We didn't die. I cut like 100 corners on how to properly fly that, but we alive. We don't die. Special boy, I am. Oh. Oops, wrong one. After landing, flaps are up. Off, engine ice off. Probe heat. Actually, all those can come off. Brakes are off. Idle. Ice protection was never on. Blade switch is already off. 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 Pew. FS economy, yeah, there's the problem with consoles. There's no way to link anything. Like, because they keep it a completely closed architecture. That's actually the main reason why I fly the FSX, the FlightFX VisionJet, and the Honda Jet, because they have that SimLink, and that's the only way you can get Navigraph charts linked from the sim outside of it. I think there's a couple airliners you can do it with as well, but it's mostly I don't want that one on. There we go. Yeah, it's mostly just a issue with, I guess, the console being completely closed off. Kind of stupid if you ask me, but what do I know? I'm just a consumer. I think the yeah, like if you look here, I can throw this on real quick. So, where's it? Under this, no. Where the hell is it? Is it under SimBrief? No. It's gotta be utilities. Setup. Yeah, so under Navigraph settings, SimLink. There's so few aircraft. I know the Honda Jet, the Vision Jet, and a couple of the airliners have SimLink in the sim. Oh, and I think there's another one. There's like a Piper Arrow, the Turbo Arrow, also has it. Oddly enough. Nope. Nope, they don't have a generic Navigraph. Like most of the stuff, we don't get our drop downs on the top either. This, which is the PMS 750, GTN 750, this was just recently released. So this is kind of nice because it's the first pop out we really get, and you can have like your charts and Navigraph stuff in here. It does not have the SimLink though, so you can't have an external view, I guess, of stuff. But it is kind of nice. Like this, I got specifically because I flew in the Dukes a bunch, and I wanted to have charts. But, I mean, all the more reason to switch to PC, right? But I guess that does it for me on this one. Managed to land, and I didn't die. It's like a good flight or something. Let's say every flight you walk away from is a good one, or something like that. That's true. Yeah, the hardware is definitely cheaper. I think an Xbox, or when I got it, was like 600 and something, 680 bucks. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna hop off here, and I'm probably gonna have that watch about half of it, and then head upstairs to bed. Thanks for tagging along, man. Appreciate it. Have a good night as well.